Hello, and welcome back to Ask Dr. B. Happy New Year. I hope you had a lovely holiday season, and I hope that 2023 is a great year for your well-being. And remember, Weeby can help with that. If you haven't downloaded the app, please do so. It's free, and it can help you learn how to track, share, and strengthen your well-being. Speaking of Weeby, 2023 is going to be a wonderfully exciting and busy year for us at Weeby. We are so thrilled to be partnering with William and Mary, bringing an enhanced version of Weeby to campus to support student, staff, and faculty well-being. So we're just thrilled and honored to be doing that good work with Weeby at William and Mary. So today, for this episode, given that this is the start of the new year, I thought it might be helpful to talk about New Year's resolutions. A lot of us make them. A lot of us struggle with actually completing them or feeling good about them. So I thought maybe you've made a New Year's resolution and it's going great, good for you. Maybe you've started one and it's not going so great and you're not feeling good about that. So I hope that this is helpful. Or maybe you don't make them at all. Or maybe you want another idea about what you can do to help with your well-being that isn't a resolution. And I have that for the end of this little chat. So, a little surprise at the end. Okay, so let's start with what do we know about New Year's resolutions? People have been making them literally for thousands of years. The Babylonians may have been the first that we know of, that over 4,000 years ago. We know that the Romans made them. We know that people have been doing this thing about making a resolution about what they want to accomplish or what they want to do. We know that a lot of people make resolutions on New Year's, but not a lot of people report that they succeed. There was a study in 1988 that found 77% of the people at that time, the folks who were surveyed, said they made a New Year's resolution, but only 19% said that they had fulfilled that resolution within the next year. In 2018, a similar survey found that 54% made New Year's resolutions, but only 4% actually said that they accomplished them. So they've been around a long time. A lot of people still make them, but it's hard to find people who have actually said they've accomplished their resolution. So are New Year's resolutions good for us? That's a great question, I think. First of all, reflecting, thinking about what we want to work on in ourselves is a good thing. Setting goals for ourselves also can be a good thing. It's good to work on things that we want to change. And it's good to see that you can begin again. It's a new year. You can start again and have a fresh start to see if you can achieve your goal. So those are some of the things that are good about the tradition of the New Year's resolution. Unfortunately, I think there are more things that are not so great about making a New Year's resolution. So here are some of the cons, if you will, things that tell us, not necessarily so good for our well-being. First of all, if you make a resolution that, by the end of the year, I'm going to do something big and grand, or I'm going to get a new job, or I'm going to get married, or I'm going to find my perfect person, it can actually raise anxiety. Now we feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do that, and it's difficult when you do a big goal, how much control you actually can have over that goal. So it actually may raise our anxiety. Setting unrealistic goals can actually contribute to a sense of failure, which makes it more difficult for us to achieve reasonable goals. So setting those big, audacious New Year's resolutions, I'm going to stop smoking, which is a very difficult thing for people to do, can make you feel less capable of actually stopping, which it is possible to stop smoking, but it's you got to do little steps. And anyway, that's a different topic. That's a whole topic for a different conversation. But the point is that if you set an unrealistic goal, it can actually make you feel worse and therefore less likely to achieve that goal because it's too big rather than if you chop it up. As I said, setting big goals, in and of itself can be anxiety provoking. And when you have no real strategy, no way of accomplishing the goal, that really increases strategy or your anxiety. So that can be destructive. And most resolutions don't come from a particularly healthy place to begin with. They tend to focus on something that we feel bad about in ourselves. And so that can, one, contribute to just thinking, especially when we're not achieving them, it makes us feel worse about ourselves. And if you think about, I'm going to resolve to do something that has been really difficult for me to change, but it's a big goal and maybe I don't have a great plan. I just want to do it, may actually, again, contribute to us being less likely to achieve it. So what we'll talk about next is some ways to think about if you want to make a resolution or you want to refine the resolution that maybe you made a couple of weeks back. There may be some things you can do to actually achieve that. But before we do that, I've mentioned some of them, but let me just highlight, why do resolutions fail? They often fail because they're too big, they're sweeping, broad, things that you don't have complete control over or even very much control over. So they're unattainable, they're vague. I want to eat healthier. That's a tough resolution to achieve. There's a lack of planning. You've made the resolution, but haven't really thought through what does it mean and can I actually achieve it? What would a plan be? There's no tracking or accountability often. So somebody makes the resolution, puts it out there to themselves or the world, and yet there's no accountability. And we humans typically work on incentive programs. Either we have incentives for ourselves, I'm going to save this much money and then I'm going to buy a new car, or I'm going to work hard at my job and then they pay me. So when you make a big, splashy, broad statement and there's no accountability, it makes it difficult to achieve it. Typically, we don't have social support to achieve the goal. And I'm going to talk about that actually can help us if you, again, want to go down this path. But often the resolution is made and I'm by myself. I'm on my own trying to achieve something that already is very difficult for me to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made the resolution about it, because typically resolutions are coming from what's not right or what's wrong in my life or in me. Okay, so let's say that you really, you still want to try to make a resolution, or you want to accomplish the resolution that maybe you made on New Year's Day. So here are some tips that hopefully will be helpful. First of all, take a look at how serious you are about this resolution. Is it something you are very serious about achieving? If so, I've got some things for you to do. Or is it something that you did as part of, people are saying, what's your resolution? What's your resolution? And so you pick something that you know is something you should work on, but you're not really ready to, or maybe you don't even want to, but other people are saying to you, a resolution that maybe one of my teenage daughters might have had, basically me through them saying I should keep my room clean, but if they didn't want to do it, they're not going to do it. So they might have said it around the dinner table on New Year's Eve. I'm going to keep my room clean this year, not really wanting to do it. So take a look at how serious you are. If you're serious about it, then it's really important to review your resolution to make sure it is achievable. Is this something that you actually have control over, at least enough control over that you can achieve it? It's also helpful to work with a coach, a mentor, an accountability partner. Again, bring in that accountability. I'm going to talk about that frequently in this little list of things to do. So get some help in the beginning. Get somebody who wants to work on something similar. It doesn't have to be the same, but that you all are, supporting each other. Choose people who are positive, who are going to lift you up and give you a lot of support and reinforcement for the work that you're doing, because it's hard to make change. Remember, it's hard to make change. Review your progress regularly. Things that are reviewed get done. If we don't review them, they kind of slip down and we don't even know, and they don't get done. So review your progress, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly. Should be that frequently if it's something you're serious about, making some kind of incremental change. We'll get to that too. Small steps are great. Develop a specific plan of how you're going to do what you're going to do. So let's say you choose I want to eat more fresh foods and less fast food, something that a lot of college students have trouble with just because of their schedule and life. But now in universities, you have great options for choosing really healthy food. So how would you go about that? So you might say on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have a lighter class schedule. So I'm actually going to have more time to choose and carefully, maybe I live in off-campus housing. I'm actually going to cook for myself or cook for my roommates, a healthy meal with fresh ingredients. And that's on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then you track that. You track how often you are doing that. Or let's say you live in a dorm and you just are going to track literally on a spreadsheet on your phone, how many meals a day are fast food versus how many meals a day did you actually go somewhere where, to the dining hall where you were able to have a salad and vegetables and things that were healthy. So develop a plan, track what you're doing, have somebody, a mentor, partner, accountability partner, or a coach helping you achieve those steps. So you can already hear how this is much more likely to be able to result in change that you want. Focus on what's right in your life and build on that. Maybe it's you want to improve your study habits, but you take a look and you go, well, I study really well on these classes. And why is that? That's because I like them. And so then you can maybe build on that and say, well, I don't like this class, but I know when I like a class, these are the steps I take. So now I'm going to apply those steps to this class, even though I don't like the course material. You develop that strategy, you implement it, you track it, you review it, you have a partner working on it with you. You're going to succeed in making that incremental change. See how far you've come. As you're going through this, make sure that you're rewarding yourself for your successes. Build from your success. Build from what you feel good about and how you're accomplishing your goal already. Small steps. Look at your own paper. Compare you to you. Try to avoid making comparisons of yourself to other people you know, or people on social media. It's much more difficult to see and make substantial change when you are using someone outside of yourself for that comparison. As I said, make sure small steps, attainable goals, celebrate your success. And I mentioned, plan, also build cues into your plan. I even think I mentioned that earlier, but I didn't call it a cue. So, I'm going to eat healthy Monday, Wednesday, Friday, even if it's, I'm going to eat a healthy lunch Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Cue. The cue is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The cue is lunch. Note it, remind yourself, reinforce yourself. Cues are very helpful. Make sure that you share your successes with people that you trust. Pick your people carefully so that they are supportive and not critical, because that negative critical energy only makes us feel worse and doesn't help us achieve our goals. And remember, baby steps matter. They count. Trying to do too much too soon likely will backfire. And know that there are going to be things that derail your plan. That's okay. Maybe, you get sick, or maybe it's finals. And so you can't eat as healthy as you have been. That's okay. Just pick it up when you get on the other side of that. All right. So those are some things to help you if you want to make that kind of resolution. There's a new tradition that people are adopting. Maybe you saw it on social media, or you've heard people talk about choosing a personal word, a personal nudge word. And the idea here is that you pick a word that isn't about some big goal, like I want to, stop drinking or get straight A's or lose 20 pounds, or something that, again, is coming from not necessarily a great space, but rather a word that reflects how you want to be this year. Maybe it's about, I want to be intentional. I want to be mindful. I want to be connected to others. Connected is the word. I want to be thoughtful. I want to be relaxed. I want to be kind. I want to listen. I want to engage. Lots of words out there that can reflect how you want to be. But to make sure that you're successful in that, it, again, shouldn't be a broad resolution like you want to exercise more, you want to lose 20 pounds. It should be a word that helps guide you. You can share it with others. You don't have to. It can just be for you, but it's a word that should be available to you throughout your day in different situations to help inspire you to have the year that you want. And again, remember, none of us are going to follow our own nudge words 100% of the time. That's okay. Be kind to yourself and to others who are trying to make changes that matter to them. Recognize your successes. Encourage yourself and others to start again, whether it's at the first of the year, maybe it's on your birthday. It's like, okay, in this next year, I want to be, again, a good word might be thoughtful, if that's something, or safe. That was a word I was thinking about earlier. That you want to really encourage yourself to think about your own safety in relationships, in situations. Anyway, you can always start again and work toward that. I wish you all good luck with whichever one of these approaches you take, if you take either, to focus on your well-being in 2023. If you're a student or staff or faculty at William & Mary, I hope to see you there. You will see Weeby on campus and in your various communication channels. If you see me or someone from the Weeby team, please come up and say hello. And to everyone else, thank you so much for continuing to focus on well-being. Please send in questions, your thoughts about the show and about Weeby. And I look forward to answering more questions in the coming year. Take good care.